Today, we're transforming this giant Brooklyn backyard into an edible garden. Emma and her boyfriend Liam love cooking at home, but they've been missing that fresh, homegrown touch in their meals.
I've been eating it this whole time.
Emma is a busy young artist who is looking to gain confidence and knowledge in growing her own food that outshines the subpar store-bought produce. I'm here to help her turn this space into a lush, productive garden, showing Emma that with a little guidance, anyone can grow their own food. Emma's backyard is a rare gem in New York City with ample space for growing lots of crops. With endless possibilities in this unique urban rental, I'm excited to transform this giant backyard into a flourishing edible garden. So let's chat to uncover Emma's vision where she and her boyfriend can grow fresh produce. You have a backyard that people would kill for. What are you buying at the grocery store that you wish that you could get fresher?
Always herbs. I also have this thing in my head where I'm like, you never use the entire bunch in one recipe. And so like half of them always die or get slimy, and it's just kind of like, I feel like I'm just like throwing money down the drain. So that's kind of like my pet peeve of mine of like buying herbs. So I would love, my favorite thing ever is just to have like an herb garden where I can just like cut what I need for the recipes. And then like specifically basil, I think lettuce along with that too. And like scallions, just like kind of like aromatics too, that you can just like, that you always kind of need. So like, I know like garlic or something like that.
But I'm so excited. I have a lot of ideas. Thank you so much for entrusting me with your garden transformation.
Absolutely. I wouldn't leave it to anyone else. Certainly not myself.
I'm excited to dig into this space, even though I need to be mindful of the landscaping overhaul. To avoid the headache of the crops potentially being dug up, I've decided to stick to container gardening. Even if you're lucky enough to have this much space in New York City, pots can easily be relocated if needed. Emma has her heart set on an herb garden, so I'll be bringing an assortment of plants from my own garden and starting some seeds as well. Since it's July, we're in the prime of summer, making it an excellent time to plant both warm and cool weather crops. Remember, all the products for this transformation are linked down below. Let's get growing. It's mid-July in Brooklyn, and there's still plenty of time to start a garden. So today we're using the eclectic pots left by the previous tenants. Ideally, I prefer organic potting soil, but if you're on a budget, Vigoro from Home Depot is a great option. I'm adding a lot of organic fertilizer to these pots for a more abundant garden. I'm using Plant Tone, a well-balanced 5-3-3 natural fertilizer. And if you're feeling inspired, just take the first step. Gather some pots, order some seeds, or head to Home Depot for some potting soil. Don't worry about having all the tools, just start with the basics. So in this pot, I planted 2 tomato plants, which is tight, but we can transplant them later if needed. If one doesn't make it, the other can take over, so it's a bit of an insurance policy. I brought 2 pepper plants I started from seed, and I'm giving them more space in this pot. Ideally, each would have its own pot, but again, I'm focusing on this herb garden. And everyone loves basil, including Emma. But Emma always finds basil at the store to be frustrating because it often gets moldy. So I planted several baby plants here. These are just getting started, but they're gonna be huge. And I planted 2 varieties, Genovese basil and Mammoth basil. This way Emma can experiment with different flavors. Plus, Mammoth basil is something you rarely find in stores. Did you know that there are over 60 varieties of basil? Growing your own food lets you experiment and get creative with these different varieties that you can't find at the store. Now, let's move on to the rest of the herbs. I've brought fresh mint, oregano, thyme, and rosemary from my garden to round out Emma's herb garden. Remember, mint can spread aggressively, so always keep it in a pot. I feel like I have to say that in every video. You never need that much mint, so a small pot is perfect. And save your bigger pots for plants like tomatoes and peppers. And oregano is fantastic because it's perennial, abundant, and it deters pests. Now for the finishing touches. I'm watering everything, trying to settle the plants nicely and avoiding the leaves to prevent pathogens. It's not perfect, but over time, this garden is going to be thriving. Don't be afraid to experiment, mess up, and just have fun. So here we are, exactly 90 days after we originally started this garden, and look how crazy and abundant it is. We have tomatoes that are absolutely wild. We have an insane amount of basil. We have these beautiful banana peppers growing, tons of thyme, mint. Things are out of control. This is exactly what you could do in pots in 90 days. Wow, this Brooklyn container garden is flourishing. I'm happy that we chose to keep all the crops in pots because every plant in this backyard has been removed, but our portable garden is still intact. And placing pots on the ground allowed the roots to extend through the bottom into the earth. You definitely don't want to have your tomatoes laying on the ground because you're creating more disease. Bacteria, fungus, bugs can climb up easily, so you want to have them staked up. And these tomato plants are absolutely out of control. They're draping all over onto the ground, and I want to stake them up. Here's my favorite method for staking tomatoes. Take 3 4-foot stakes, spread them out evenly around the edges of the pot, and tie them together at the top with twine, forming a TP structure. This lets you tie the tomato plants to the stakes for support. Although there are many ways to stake tomatoes, this is my go-to. And I'm surprised because despite the tomatoes laying all over the ground, I haven't seen a single bug or even bug damage. These tomatoes look stunning, and I'm impressed by how many there are. Remember, I planted multiple tomato plants in this pot, and they're growing together beautifully. And to speed up ripening, especially since we're nearing the end of the season, I'm cutting back all the leaves. This helps the plant focus all of its energy on ripening the existing tomatoes. And October is the perfect time to plant garlic in New York City, and it is so easy to grow garlic. Just break the bulbs into individual cloves, plant each clove with the pointy end up about 6 inches apart. If you're using containers, make sure they're at least 12 inches deep. Water thoroughly, and throughout the winter, the garlic will establish roots, and by early spring, green shoots will appear. By late June or early July, your garlic will be ready to harvest when the lower leaves turn brown. Fresh, homegrown garlic in New York City. How great is that? And remember that little mint plant from my garden? Look at it now. It's all grown up, and it will come back next year. In New York City's Zone 7B, mint is a perennial that keeps growing year after year. We're bringing in the 3 pepper plants to overwinter them. Overwintering just means keeping your plants alive throughout the winter so you can get a bigger harvest next year. It's worth doing because peppers take a long time to grow from seed, so keeping them alive throughout the winter gives you a head start next spring. And finally, we're harvesting the basil. Emma has been cutting and using it, and it keeps growing back. She's planning to make a delicious pesto with this abundance, and who knows, maybe this plant will grow a bit more before the first frost hits. So let's talk about the cost of this transformation. Just $45. And here's how we did it. We bought 2 bags of potting soil for $19, an organic bag of fertilizer for $13, and spent $14 on seeds for 7 different crop varieties. We didn't have to spend any money on containers because the previous tenants left so many behind. By reusing these containers, we kept this garden both sustainable and budget friendly. For our October garden update, we spent $37. $10 on seed garlic, $5 on stakes, $5 on twine, $2 on clover seeds, $2 on 3 clear pots, and $13 for organic indoor potting soil. If you don't have basic gardening tools like gloves, a watering hose, and a hand shovel, check out the links below to get started. This transformation shows that even in New York City, you can grow a beautiful, productive garden without breaking the bank. Thank you for joining me in creating this abundant Brooklyn backyard garden. Remember to subscribe to this channel for more inspiring New York City transformations.